Welcome to your first class, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on marketing, how to market your law practice. I think first thing we should start with really is to try and determine what we mean by marketing exactly, because it's a widely misunderstood term. For example, if you go on to Wikipedia, you can find the following. Marketing is defined by the American Marketing Association as the activity, set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. I consider that to be a largely useless definition. It's so comprehensive and all-allowing that you can read that definition 5 times and you still don't know what marketing is. Marketing as a term really originated, I think, in its most primitive sense, which is that the idea that, well, perhaps in your hometown you have a farmer's market. The farmers and the people who produce food and goods and wares would simply bring them to the center of the town once a week and display them in order to induce people to buy. So I think marketing in its most primitive sense is that, really. That's where it's originated. I've come up with a couple of working definitions that have evolved for me over the years in working with my lawyer clients, my attorney clients. One is this: marketing is everything that you do before the person comes to the door of your office. And sales is everything that you do after that point. Now, obviously that is not an exact definition. I use it because I think the bricks and mortar imagery allows you to understand a little bit what I mean in terms of marketing. Marketing is everything that you do to condition the mind of your potential client before they enter the sales process. So in other words, for example, to have a favorable impression of you or your law practice before they ever meet you, before they ever start talking about becoming your client. If you don't do marketing, then you have a recipe for sales burnout. What I mean by that is this: that if you don't do marketing, then every time you engage with a new prospect, a new prospective client, you have to do both marketing and sales. You've got to tell the person all about your company, all about you, why they should want to do business with you, and all of those things, and then you have to proceed to closing the actual sale. If you do marketing, then that first task is already accomplished. They already know about you and your company and what you do and have already formed a favorable impression. And thus, all you have to do is the sale. So marketing is really a crucial part of growing your law practice. It's helpful to think, too, what marketing is not. Marketing is not, as I've already illustrated to you, marketing is not sales. Those are two different things. Marketing is not advertising. I think if you ask most people, what's marketing, that would be the first answer that comes to their mind. Well, that's advertising. And in fact, advertising is one tool, one marketing tool. And for many attorneys, my friend Ben Glass, who's a bit of a marketing guru and an attorney himself, says that advertising is marketing of the last resort. And I think there's some truth to that. Marketing encompasses many more specific techniques. Just to name a few: public relations, branding, speaking in public, going out and giving speeches, sending notes to people, blogging, writing articles for trade journals. All of those things could be considered part of your marketing effort, and none of them is advertising. So very helpful, I think, to think about what marketing is and what it's not before we start to really delve into it. There are limits to marketing. You need to know that as well. That there is substance, and then there's style, you might say. A lot of attorneys, especially young people coming right out of law school, or people transitioning into a new practice area, people leaving a big firm and founding their own firm, they think, really what ought to matter the most is what a good attorney I am. And if I'm a good attorney and I have good skills and I work hard, then other people are going to recognize that. They're going to tell their friends. I'm going to have good word of mouth, and my business is going to grow, and I really don't need to do anything more than that. Well, I assure you that that is not the case as you think it. It is true that you can grow a business in this fashion without doing marketing. Einstein supposedly said time is money. Well, in marketing, the equation is time or money. So without doing any marketing, you can grow a business at 10 or 20% a year. And if your goal is to make, $300,000 a year gross for your firm, maybe you can get there in 5 years or 10 years by pursuing this word of mouth method and so on. With marketing, you can get there in 1 year or 2 years. So marketing is like adding jet fuel to your growth. You can still succeed without it, but it's going to be much slower and it's going to be much more difficult. It is entirely possible to be a terrific attorney and starve. Right? So, as I said in my introductory video, really, when you start your own law firm, when you become a solo, you wear two hats. One is that you're an attorney supplying work product to your firm, and the other hat is you're a business owner. You own a small business called a law firm, the product of which is legal services, and the success of that business is going to depend much more on your business skills than on your lawyer skills. I mean, let's face it, there are plenty of mediocre lawyers who can be a terrific business success, and there are lots of brilliant attorneys who can starve. So understand that it's not about justice, it's not about what should be, it's not about any of those things. It's about succeeding in the marketplace and making sure that good attorneys like yourselves, which I'm sure you're dedicated to being, get the lion's share of the business and succeed. So we want you to get market share so that people will go to good attorneys like yourselves and not to mediocre attorneys. So it's value neutral. Marketing is value neutral. It's like atomic power. It's not good or evil. It's only what you use it for. So atomic power can be used to light cities, or it can be used to blow up cities. It doesn't have moral content in and of itself. Marketing can be used to promote terrific attorneys and great law firms, and it can be used to promote charlatans as well. So it behooves you to understand how this atomic power works and to use it for your own ends. Now, there are limitations to what marketing can do and what it can't do. When people buy professional services, they buy the person who provides the service. That means they're buying you. So you, in effect, are the product as a solo. They're not buying your firm, they're buying you. And there's a very instructive story, marketing story, that I think will illustrate something. And the point I want to illustrate here is that if people don't like you and trust you and instinctively have confidence in you, then nothing that you can do on the marketing end is going to offset that. Nothing is going to fix that. All right? And the story, which is a classic in marketing literature, is called the dog food story. The dog food story goes like this. The chairman of a Fortune 500 company has all his top executives gathered in a boardroom in Manhattan, and he's in a rage. And he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I can't understand it. Our dog food has the best ingredients, no fillers. Our packaging has won industrial packaging awards. Our distribution is all over the country. We've got the best shelf sites in the supermarkets. We've got a large, well-trained, well-motivated sales force out there selling every day. We've supported the whole thing with a multi-million-dollar advertising campaign, and yet the sales are flat. The sales are nowhere, and I want an explanation. And all of the executives cower in silence, and finally a little man down at the end of the table raises his hand, and the chairman says, "Yes, Smithers, what is it?" And Smithers says, "Dogs don't like it." So remember, we can do everything correctly, everything well in marketing, drive tons of clients to your door. If the dogs don't like you, it won't do any good at all. So here's your homework. I want you to buy and read the book Influence by Robert Cialdini, Cialdini, Robert Cialdini, Influence. Influence explores the psychology that underlines marketing. That might seem sort of abstract and academic to you. I assure you it's not. I assure you that what you learn in this book is going to have all kinds of everyday applications. Now, I know that this first discussion, this introduction, has been somewhat abstract. But the thing I want you to understand is you're probably sitting there impatiently saying, okay, all this sounds really good, but Mark, what am I going to do? What's the first thing I'm going to do to get myself new clients with my new practice, or more clients with my existing practice? And I promise you, I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to give you very specific advice on how to do that. We'll talk about step 1, step 2, very nuts and bolts kind of practical real-world stuff. But none of that is going to be convincing to you if you don't understand the principles that underlie it and why it is that the things I'm telling you will work. So I urge you to get this book and to read it, to rethink some of the concepts that I've discussed with you here in this first session, and I will see you at our next class, in which we will begin a discussion of the crucial role of image in developing a law practice. So thanks very much for your attention today. I appreciate it, I enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.